Yes! Alright guys, how you doing? RisingFunGaming here. We're out in the deserted isle once again, and I was just very happy then that I got dropped in the nest area. It's very, very convenient because we can do our buffs in relative safety, and our target is just next door, so we don't have to run around like a fool. And that target, of course, is the hyper version of Royal Ludroth. Yes! We're following up from the low and high rank battle, of which we came out relatively well. And I think we're going to come out pretty well again with this chap, going in with the Gunlance in guild style, classic style. And in case you're wondering, in the particular weapon I'm using, this one is the Pirate J Gunlance. Good old Jump DLC, which has been in most Monster Hunter games, I believe. He's returning for Generations, or Cross anyway. I don't want to say Generations, do I? Not 100% sure if we'll be getting Jump collaborations. But we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. You never know. You never know. I certainly don't at this point. Would be good to see it. But anyway, it's a decent high rank Gunlance for sure, and it's going to be fun using it here. As you can probably already tell, it's a normal Gunlance, which suits me excellently here because, just like with my pellet gun in low rank fight that I did, I do like to bust a few caps in that big yellow frill, break it up, and get me some dash juice hopefully. Speaking of which, I think in the last video that I made I was talking about, oh, damn it, I was talking about the potential of getting more dash juice rewards when you break its frill, and I looked it up and I believe it was, yes, if you break the frill you can get a chance, a 25% chance of getting 2 extra little dash extracts, so that's good. It's definitely going to be a target because I'm always trying to farm for those good old dash extracts. The skills that I got on this particular set include Razor Sharp, Load Up, Guard +2 and Artillery King, which is the 15-point version of the skill, and it actually maxes out at 15 in this game. We've got the Load Up piercings here, the Celtus chest, I think the Viking waist, Hermitor legs, I can't remember what my arms are. But yeah, there's a few fun sets you can make for Gunlance, I guess depending on which style you want to choose. So I block this attack. I don't think Adept style are going to be really going for your Guard +2, not that it's useless, but it's probably not a priority compared to maybe some other armor skills. Block this. Alright, so more about this monster here in the hyper version. Him being, you know, kind of low mid-tier monster. Don't really have a lot of reason to come back and fight him, so I haven't really remembered what he's like in his hyper version. It's been quite a few months since I fought him in this, but I don't remember him being very standout at all. Quite a few of the monsters, like Zenoga and Lagiacrus, are like really, really cool. I like what they've done with the hyper versions, but yeah, nothing really stood out with this guy if memory serves. Got to get away from this corner here. When the camera's zoomed up like this, it's a nightmare. Can't really see what you're doing. Okay, we've knocked him over. Excellent. I do know, you know, he's starting out with his little black miasma on the head and the tail. He's got this cute little tail flick with it, which is nice. It's got a different timing and a different power to it. I remember that much. Block this. And his little black miasmas can move to, I guess, the leg or the side of the body, so his little sideways rolls do a fair bit more damage. But all up, he's not very scary, and despite him being hyper, you don't need very strong armor against him. I do have strong armor at the moment, so I don't think I'm going to be suffering too much damage. Doesn't look so. I've been hit a ton already, and hasn't really bothered me, has it? So one thing that I'd like to talk about in this video, I'm surprised there hasn't been more curiosity about it out there, well, at least on my channel. I haven't seen any questions about it, I don't believe. But that's regarding the heat gauge and the little vertical white bar, the movement of it. some of you that have been watching a lot of Monster Hunter Cross Gunlance gameplay out there, you might have noticed that between different videos, the movement of that gauge seems to be a little bit more on some videos versus others, and that's all down to your build. The thing that's kind of dictating that, or it can be dictated by, is the good old artillery skill. Now, artillery works much in the way that it did in Monster Hunter 4U. I believe it does everything that it did back in that game, but with the inclusion of the new heat gauge mechanic, it does an extra thing. Now, I believe it does not influence the bar movement in yellow and orange heat portion of the gauge, but in the most important to manage area, I guess you could say, the red portion, it will. And as artillery is a 15-point skill in this game, or at least it maxes out at 15, it's got your 10 point and your 15 point. There's no artillery god at 20 points here. I think that's because it's high rank game, not G rank. Pretty sure that's the deal. Anyway, at the 15-point skill, which we have here, it halves the movement of it, and that's inclusive of the cooling and the heating up, I believe. If you compare my Wyvern firing and the movement of that gauge with artillery +2 versus not, you'll definitely see a difference. So that's really cool. You don't have to be as careful in managing that, which is nice. And it's not something you'd go out of your way to get if that was all the skill did, but it's just great that they've included it in with artillery. It's cool. For the 10-point version of the skill, I believe it moves at 1/3 or something. I think it's thirds. I think it gets to thirds. So it moves at 2/3. Yeah, that makes sense. The lower the fraction, the more OP it is. So the 10-point is 2/3. Did that make sense to you? It made sense to me. Anyway, so this guy, oh, nice break. Oh, I'm glad I got to break him with the awesome blast dash. That's fun. Hopefully we'll knock him over too. I've got to poke his legs out a little bit. But me being a normal Gunlance here, pokes aren't going to be as useful. Oh, you can also see, by the way, that he's moved his little black miasma too. Yeah, it's his front legs there. So I'm going to have to be careful of those little rolls. Poke! And he's over. And that's how you ride in style. Awesome. Yeah, all up, he's not really scary, to be honest. A lot of the hyper monsters are. Even your humble little Cutku, if you could call him humble. He was making me sweat. There's a few scary moments with him, but this fella, nah. Nah, sorry to say. I forgot how he was like, but I'm getting away with murder here. Typically with my gun lancing, you know, I get too excited. I can poke and I can shoot, so I will. And I'll totally ignore excellent shielding and evasion. I guess one of the biggest problems I've had with gun lancing in the past is knowing how long after the different attacks it takes to recover before I can take a shielding action. It's been something that I fail a lot with. Not only that, but against Leviathans I noticed I do some really silly sidesteps into danger. Like that. Yeah. So when you see a decent, like when you see a pro gun lancer, oh my god, isn't it poetry? Isn't it poetry? I guess that's one of the problems with spreading all your time over to all the weapons. I love playing them all, man. Some more than others, but I do try to play them all, which is good because I've got lots of experiences to communicate, lots of knowledge. Hopefully 99% of it is correct. Because you Monster Hunter fans are harsh critics. And off he goes. Of course he goes. It's like an AI thing, isn't it? You have set a trap. I must immediately remove myself from the frickin' area. That's why recently I was thinking, in a new Monster Hunter game they need to introduce this new item, and it's called Trap Disarm Kit. Yes, please. There we go, another sidestep into danger. Which is, it's probably not all that necessary in online play. Jeez, he's punching my head in. But how bad is it when you get to, I don't know, the end of a fight, you got your Mon limping. Oh no, here's the tail. It doesn't have a very good hitbox on it, does it? Yeah, you get to the end of the hunt, you put the trap down, and of course, friggin' walks straight past it, or it flies away, or whatever the monster is. It'd just be lovely if you could use a trap disarm kit, get that out of the way. You do have to suffer a penalty, so you don't get your trap back. But at least you don't have to wait until the other one disappears. Or attempt to poop the monster back in that area. How often does that work? But yeah, it'd be good. You disarm that crap, and then you could set another one if you got another one. Different area. Before it ritually moves to another freaking area on top of that. Yeah, I vow. Next Gunlance video, I'm not gonna get hit half as much. I know I can get away with murder here against this guy, apparently. Although, me speaking all this crap, if I get carded, it's time to hang up the Gunlance for good. I think we'll be okay. So indulge me with this idea a little bit further. So you disarm the trap, yeah? The actual disarm kit, it's not like a expendable item. It's something that you can permanently have, like binoculars. So it takes up that item space. You got to have it there. You can't really get rid of it. It's there, but you've got unlimited uses, which isn't unfair to the monsters in any way. So why not? And upon disarming a trap, as I said, you have to surrender that trap. You don't get it back. But maybe it'd be cool if you get a trap making kit out of it, because you can't farm for those out in the wild, can you? And a veggie elder won't give them to you either, I don't believe. So in the case that, you know, you're trying to trap that monster, you're down to your last trap, and you kind of SHIT out of luck, you disarm it, and from those materials you get your trap. I've spent too much time on this. You get your trap making kit, and then you can go collect whatever you need, like your thunderbug, whatever it is, or your web and ivy to make a net. Wouldn't that be good? I should write a letter in Japanese to Capcom in my best, most polite Japanese. And then they can put me in the credits. Executive producer in charge of awesome and disarming kits. Erfka the second. I think I'd die a happy man then. Alright, I don't know how much more brim and vinegar and puff this fella has left. I fancy a bullfango here. Thought his little Ludroth buds would be here actually. Yeah, I don't think they've given him like a super awesome water ball. Like Zenogre and Lagiacrus, they get super big balls if they've got the black miasma on the right part of the body, but this guy, he doesn't get big water balls. Some of you might have seen my Lagiacrus video, the silent one. I looked back on that one and I realised unfortunately he didn't show that off, but when you get to fight the blue Leviathan of Death, oh, he's already limp. Wait till you see his balls. But wait till you see them. They're massive. when I do the Zenoga one in the future, he's undoubtedly going to do his massive electric spheres. They're pretty scary. You know the ones where he shoots them at you, the little blue ones? Yeah, they're massive. There's going to be so many lewd comments over this, isn't it? Not only are we talking about balls, not only are we talking about big balls, but they're blue as well. I think my career is over after this. Nice knowing ya. YouTube, you've been great. Okay, how long until this guy dies? Spit, 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 spit. That's one other thing that I tried to look out for when I first fought him on Twitch and that. He usually has that forward charge with his head swinging side to side, spitting out the water attacks. And he changed that up to a maximum of 3 ordinarily, and I thought maybe they'd give him a 4th one in the hyper version, but it doesn't look like they do. Because sometimes they do that between different monsters. They do that between monsters, for example the Azeroths. But I guess the example's a little bit different there. For Azeroth, I'm thinking of, you know how he's got his paw swipes attack? He changed it up to 4 times in the normal version, but for the deviant version he does it 5 times. It is a little bit different. We're trying to compare high rank to hyper. A little bit different. But I'm just reaching, I'm stretching. Unfortunately, I don't think they've made a very interesting hyper version of the monster, unfortunately. I'm really trying to play devil's advocate and find a justification for him, but yeah, I don't know. Oh well, in any case, fighting him is definitely going to be worth your while because you'll get his hyper specific calves for some of his gear. Some of his gear ain't too horrible, not too bad at all. That's going to do for the video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. That's been some Gunlance in the guild style. We'll be back next time with a new monster starting in low rank, so look forward to that video. Until next time, it's bye bye for now.